Hello and a warm welcome. Good evening here from London. I am Rebecca Nichols. This is my podcast, Royal Treats, and a very special 12 days of podcasting from me. Well, 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of podcasting. I thought I'd do something different. And actually, I think I was getting a bit lazy with the podcasting. What do you think, guys? I've been running this podcast now since June, and thank you so much, nearly 3,000 plays, which is really wonderful actually, and I'm really grateful for all of you that tune in. And if you really do enjoy this podcast and it does provide value and bring you value, why not share it with your friends and family? Because I think the reason why, and we're talking about third eye today, and we're talking about vision, and I've spoke about this before, and something that really it's beyond me, the vision now. It's kind of greater than what I am. It's about providing and contributing to the world, and sharing this knowledge with as many people as possible. And I'm only one human being, right? And I always say that's why I decided to do the podcast, and why I decided to write books and write my blog, is that I could reach more people. I think this information is really, really important. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say this is life-changing, this is transformation, and that's what I'm here to do. So if you've been changed or transformed by in any way or shape or manner, pay it forward in life, because this is how I started out. I think the universe has been very kind to me. Obviously, I manifested £1 million. I've had great opportunities and met some amazing people, developed who I am as a being. And it all started with me on Instagram just over 3 years ago. I started following accounts and looking up at this third eye stuff. What is this third eye stuff? I thought, what is this consciousness? What is it all about? I was intrigued. And you might be here because you too have been a bit intrigued, and you're on this spiritual awakening journey, and you're more inclined to go within and seek, who are you? You know, and I wrote my ebook, Who Are You, at the beginning of the year, which I am updating. Got a bit sidetracked with that because I'm creating a manifesting program. All's happening for me in December at the moment. Capricorn season, and I'm a Capricorn moon, so I'm kind of feeling a bit badass and bossy. And when I get in that creative zone and I feel that energy to create and really hold on to that vision as to why I'm here and why I do what I do, I go for it, I run for it. And that's kind of what the third eye is about. It's about having that vision, seeing it, and running towards it. Well, not running towards it, I mean, I want you to be grounded, I want you to be present, but really keeping your eye on that prize, right? And so I was very intrigued into this world, and that's just kind of like curiosity took me to many places, and here I am sharing with you 3 years later. And I never thought I'd be here and doing this and doing a podcast and having all this stuff happen, but as we expand, and that's one of my words for 2018 is expansion, is to expand and grow with your vision. And your vision gets bigger as you get bigger, and as you grow and transform, you'll want more, you'll desire more, and I think you'll be worthy of having more. Why not? I mean, I truly believe we're all here to evolve and better ourselves and better our lives and better our children's lives, and pass that information and down. So it's an exciting time to be alive, and so I think just find gratitude right now, right here in this space. If you can do that and just feel what a wonderful time to be alive. We are in a state of, well, the internet is just a miracle, isn't it? The fact that I can be here in my room recording and then broadcasting out to the world, it just seems a bit insane. But how awesome. You've got to be grateful for that. And I am, most definitely. I've got this bug crawling up my arm. I was like, what the hell is that? Where did that come from? Oh my God. Sorry. I was like, I felt something on my arm. I looked and it says bug. Very strange. But Anyway, let's get started with the third eye. Let's talk a little bit more about what the third eye is. And when we talk about the chakras, so the third eye is, you're actually only left with, if you're looking at it as a symbol, you're only left with all the petals have fallen away, and you're only left with two huge petals either side. And you have this symbolizes letting go of the attachment. The attachment to many distractions of the world as you enter into a divine relationship with your spirit. So as we're moving up into the higher chakras now, we are developing a relationship more with spirit than we are with flesh. We're slowly but surely moving away from our flesh. We are aware that we are still here and we are in our flesh, and we need to satisfy our flesh in many ways, of course, but we're really more in tune with the higher consciousness. So this is the centre of the I and thou, and the petal represents the many forms of duality. So the ego self and spirit self is the Ida and Pingala, the masculine and the feminine. The two large petals also resemble wings, symbolises the ability of this chakra to transcend time and space, allowing the inner spirit to fly. So the triangle is the yoni or female energy, and with it is the linga or male energy. The linga is the first chakra, which was surrounded by a snake, the sleeping kundalini energy. And as the kundalini energy rises to the sixth chakra, the snake uncoils and sexual energy rises upwards. So the crescent moon of femininity represents receptivity, embraces the circle above. So this centre is a golden dot, which is the essence of spiritual energy. It symbolises your centre. And the quarter moon above it symbolises your infinite potential. And we do have infinite potential, but what we do is we limit ourselves. And I think we limit ourselves in this space with our thoughts, and with our vision being small and not really looking beyond now. Not really seeing your future, and we're limiting ourselves with the sabotaging thoughts, and we're limiting ourselves with the procrastination and the just not doing it, right, and the courage and the confidence and the things that we find in the solar plexus, which I talk about the other day. So we are limiting ourselves in so many ways as beings, because we're just not looking far enough, and not writing goals down, not writing intentions down, and not being really clear and specific about what we really desire. And so I am working on this manifesting program, which is coming out tomorrow, which is going to be focusing completely and solely for 28 days on you and your desires, gratitude, how we can really bring more into our lives by actually looking at ourselves and looking at who we are and looking at what we've got. I mean, obviously we block ourselves a lot because we're always in a state of, I want more. But actually we really don't get more by wanting more. We get more by realising we have everything we already have. We have everything we need to succeed inside us. Or first of all, it's never anything outside of ourselves that's going to help us be anything in this life. We have tools, we have gifts, we have talents, we have abilities. And when we tap into that and we see that and within our vision, and we see that within our third eye, we're able to execute and we're able to move forward. So through the power of the third eye, you can receive guidance and channel and tune into your higher self. And this is powerful through meditation, through visualization, by guided imagery and things like that. So there's so many ways that we can really see with our third eye. It's a beautiful thing. I spend a lot of time here in this space. Because I understand being in this space helped me manifest that £1 million. I understand that seeing that vision, and I understand seeing a vision for my life and seeing a vision for what I wanted, not just for myself, but for the world, and for my community, or mainly the kids. You know, I'm really big on children, and my upbringing wasn't the greatest, and my mum did the best, but she had mental health issues. So, I mean, I believe that when we really put all our energy into looking at the youth and the generation, we can make this world a better place, because, you know, they are the future and their children are the future and the future. You know, it's kind of like always paying it forward, always sharing, always contributing, always looking beyond yourself, which I think is a beautiful thing. You know, you do transcend the ego when you look beyond yourself, and you do go into spirit, and you go into, you know, how can I be a better being for the planet? It changes you as a being. It's changed me for sure, 100%. But it's a journey. So, you know, I know we all have desires. I know the universe knows you have desires, and the universe knows you have earthly needs. But we can't be focusing on those needs. We need to be focused on something much, much bigger than that. These needs will come and they will flow. And that's what I'm going to be teaching through the program that I've created. Before the third eye opens, you see through two eyes. Normal self, your conscious mind, ego and intellect, and your higher self, your intuitive mind or your spirit. And your third eye opens, the duality merges into one by letting go of your masks. Your true self shines through, and it is I am what I am. So the third eye is the Christ consciousness center, and Jesus said it. Let the light of the body, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body is full of light. But when thine eye is evil, thy body is also full of darkness. The sixth chakra is the center of seeing, relating to the element of light. This chakra is associated with the pineal gland. People say it differently. The function of the pineal gland is that of receiving light, and it was called the seat of the soul by Descartes. In the embryo, the pineal gland is derived from a third eye that begins to develop early in the embryo, but later degenerate. So, you know, is the lack of spirituality during the past few hundred years the reason for the atrophy, and will the awakening of the spiritual world reawaken the dormant third eye within us all? And so we all can see while we're here, and we can all just see a vision, a bigger vision, and collectively as consciousness can we rise? I hope so. I hope consciousness can rise enough so that we can see so much more than what we've created, and look to create a world where there is peace, there is harmony, where we can coexist. I believe it's possible. I 100% believe it's possible. So, colour is indigo. The opposite is orange. The element is light. The note is A. It represents the endocrine glands, the pituitary and the pineal. The essential oils are frankincense and cedarwood. Crystals are purple fluorite, amethyst, sodalite, clear quartz, lapis, which I'm looking at a lovely bit of lapis now. And my amethyst is just by my table. Actually, I sleep with my amethyst by my bed. But I've also got a massive, huge, God bless my ex-boyfriend. We went to Wales and we climbed Snowdon, and we got massive chunks of clear quartz, but like raw quartz. And I've got a massive chunk under the bed that I sleep with, and it makes all the difference. I mean, it just helps you. If you Tristan sleeps in my room. When he sleeps in my bed, he wakes up. I had the most amazing dream. I'm not surprised with that crystal under the bed. You'll go in astral project. You won't be here. But I do sleep really well with my crystals around, and I got a Himalayan salt lamp now at the moment, which is kind of changes colours. It's like a chakra changing colour thing. Very cool. Any foods that are like blue and violet, aubergines, blueberries, blackberries, I suppose. Yeah, kind of those. Grapes are great for the crown chakra actually, and I do enjoy grapes. Like, I got red grapes, and I've got some blue grapes in the fridge. I do like pick on my grapes, which are very good. And I think maybe that's why Jesus drank wine. He was smart. He knew. He knew it was a crown chakra food. Go and drink wine, people. You'll be fine. Get enlightened. Have a glass of wine. Yay. But if you do drink wine, just try and keep all the sulfates out of it. Just drink sulfate-free, less chemicals, less hangover for you. So much better for you. Balanced energy, inner light perception. So that means you just can see your own inner light, and you're very aware of who you are. And you're not really seeking anything outside of self at all. You have that. You have intuition. You have personal ethics. You're not attached to material things. Material things do not matter to you anymore. Yeah. You couldn't care less for material things. I mean, I'm not saying you don't need them. I'm not saying you don't want clothes and you're not worthy of having nice things. And don't get me wrong, there's just no attachment. You've got morals, please. Yes, we all need those, don't we? Dreaming. Yeah, dreaming's good. Dreaming's good. I'm always finding that when I'm in that dream state and I can dream well, I feel more rested as well when I can dream. Obviously, visualization is really important, that you can have visualization for yourself and for your life. Not afraid of death. Now, I've spoke to you about my Kundalini experience, my death experience, my rebirth, as it were. I don't know. It was 1994. I mean, I left this dimension. I took LSD, as you do as a 14-year-old girl. You know, I was a bit messed up in many ways. I was dealing with a lot of trauma in my life with my mum, and I was hanging around with these my friends, and you know, it was really cool back then. We smoked weed and we took LSD and we were crazy. I mean, I literally died. I did. I literally died. I went into pure white light. So my consciousness, I wasn't here. But then I also saw that, wow, we're living in a grand illusion, aren't we? And what do I mean by that? This is a really good way of looking at reality and what we think is reality, because it's just an illusion, right? You've got to have this really higher perspective in order to see what life is really about. We are constantly creating our reality with our thoughts, with our words, and with our actions. But everything starts with thoughts, so thoughts become things. And when you're up in that space and you're LSD and your thoughts are everywhere and your mind is just being expanded and you're dealing with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's coming up for you in that space as well. I was dealing with a lot of trauma. I got really upset. I got angry. I was with my girlfriend. She was doing the same, and we were like freaking out. Because your subconscious is just playing so much mind games with you and tricking you and all sorts of things. And, you know, we're making crazy stuff in the sky with our imagination. We actually used to love Street Fighter. So we were looking at the sky and we could see like Lee Hyundai. He was like giving birth to like little babies. It was so funny. But then it got dark and like, you know, everyone around us was like the devil, and we were in a graveyard and I could see dead people and but then I went into pure white light. But I wasn't there long. I came back, but I was like, oh my God, what is this? What am I? What is going on? Freaked out. And at that age, you would kind of freak out. But, you know, I don't know if because since that experience has made me realise I can't be that afraid of death, because I went there and it wasn't that scary. It didn't feel scary. It just felt really calm and it felt really blissful and it felt like nothing. It didn't feel like anything. It just felt like, and I wasn't there long enough. Obviously they're back here in this consciousness, but we are such powerful creatures. But I believe we're multidimensional, and I don't believe we ever die. That's my perspective. That's my outlook. I believe we choose to come here and reincarnate into beings, humans, and that we have so much choice and free will, and we can retake our lives in so many different directions based on our thoughts and based on what we believe, and based on what we believe and what we see. Because everyone always says seeing is believing, but it's just not in my world. It's believing then seeing. It's being able to see the vision and then later on manifest it in the physical, because that's what you're doing with your third eye. You'll manifest it. Everything you see in your third eye, you're going to manifest in your root. And so that's a lot of stuff that I talk about as well in the program. So it's possible. I mean, I saw myself as a millionaire before I actually became a millionaire. So don't think it's not possible, people. It's so possible to create your own reality with your thoughts. You're in charge of self. Yeah. You're in charge of yourself in so many ways. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, you own who you are. You are very much not in that victim mentality. You're very much in a creator mode rather than, oh my God, woe is me, look at what life has done to me. I mean, I've spent a very long time in that space. I just kind of refuse to go there. regardless of what life may throw at me or not throw at me, or whatever situations may occur in my life, I refuse not to be a creator. I am a creator, simple. I wake up every day with a creator mind, a creator attitude. And that's what I bring to the table for all the people that work with me as well, because, you know, the minute we think we can, we can. The minute we think we can't, we can't. And the same thing, if you say you can, you say you can't, you're right. So you experience cosmic consciousness, you may experience telepathy, astral travel, past lives. I've kind of gone here with the past life thing, and I think I've shared with you about that a little bit before. But yeah, interesting. We definitely do experience more than one life, you know, and we choose different themes for each life, and we choose what we come back as, and we choose our parents. We choose so much. So yeah, please believe that you're more in control than you realise. So at this level of personal and spiritual development, you no longer need another person, which is beautiful, because that's attachment. Attachment leads to suffering. So celibacy can be an actual choice at this point, but it's not necessary. I'm not really for that. I don't know if that will ever be me. Either people that I know are celibate and they're waiting for the right one and they're enjoying it. But I mean, I would at least pleasure myself. I'm being real. I don't know if I could ever be without that. Although the need to seek a man, like, I totally believe that one day I'm going to find the right one for me. I don't even want to say find. I just think it's going to align. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen in divine time, and it's going to be great. I'm quite a very loyal being in relationships. I'm very loyal in many ways, but I have also made serious mistakes in relationships. But I think when you know it's right, and you feel committed, and you feel appreciated, and you feel that you're receiving love in the right way, I don't think there's any reason for you to go cheap. Personally, but I have done that. The old me, she's made a lot of mistakes. You know, no regrets, because we're learning and we're becoming better in each and every time. So overactive energy, egomaniac. Yeah, you know, gotta be right, gotta be justified, self-righteous, and religiously dogmatic. So, you know, the proud, manipulative, authoritarian, uncontrolled clairvoyance. It's interesting. Underactivity would be like non-assertive, undisciplined, no vision, lack of purpose in life, negative self-image, very negative about their image, negative about a lot of things, really. Illnesses, this sounds like my mum, it just totally does. Illnesses, mental disorders, psychic exhaustion, and an endocrine imbalance. So to balance is to visualize light. Another way to balance is vision boards, visualizing, intention setting, really being able to see yourself, your future self. It's being able to see your future self and actually step into that space of like, this is who I want to be. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to be that person. Like, I see myself being that person. I see myself with this. I see myself with that. I see myself having this achievement, or I see myself doing that. You know, you've got to be able to see it in your eye, your mind's eye. You know, if you can see it in Bob Proctor, you know, law of attraction, he said, if you can see it in your mind's eye, you can hold it in your hands. Yeah? So let's really think about all the things that you would love to manifest in this life, all the things that you'd love to do, love to see, your desires, travels, accomplishments. Where would you like to live? What do you see for yourself? What do you desire, first of all? And this is something I'm going to be doing in the program, as I said, like getting to the root of your core desires and feelings about who you are and what you want to achieve in this life. You know, we all have many, very different things. Yeah. We all desire different things, and none of us are the same. But, you know, I think we all want abundance in one way or another. And it doesn't have to be lots of riches. It could just be abundant in health, abundant in love, abundant in peace, peace of mind. You know, I see a lot of people with a lot of money, and I see a lot of people with achievements and careers and accolades, but then I also see a lot of people in that space with very little inner peace. And so you got to ask yourself, what do you really value in life, right? What do you really value, and what really matters to you? For me, freedom, more than anything. Time freedom. Because people really only want time freedom more than they want money freedom. I mean, people might want money because they think it's going to give them more time. But truth is, when you chase more money, you probably got less time, let's face it. Or, you chase money and you end up like sacrificing your health or your family or lots of different things. So learning how to really look at what's important to you, what you value most. I mean, family for me is everything. Time, being able to create, being able to do what I love every day, and I do, and I'm really grateful for that. My gifts and my talents that I put to use. It'd be a shame if I didn't, of course. And as I said, you've got something inside you. Only you know what you've got inside you. Only you know what you're good at, and you need to be proud of that for yourself. Not to show off to anyone else, not to be like, yeah, look at me, but really like hold that in your own space and kind of be like, wow, like, I'm good at this. It took me a while to get my head around that I was good at something, because no one was ever really cheering for me. Not my mum. Some friends, I've been really grateful for some close friends that have really cheered me on as well and really supported me. But I got to a point where I was like, Rebecca, no one's going to cheer you on. No one's going to support you. And, you're not really get out of this whole entitlement thing, which is a lot of indigo people have. This massive, huge sense of entitlement because we know we've come here to do things and we're on a mission. And our third eyes are like, woo. So when you get out that entitlement and you get into a space of, okay, look, I'm really good. I'm good at this, and this is for me, and I love doing this for me. It's not about anyone else. This brings me pleasure. You can transcend from that space as well, which I think you can really elevate. Always check in on yourself. It's funny because I know I get envy, and I know I get people might think, oh, who do you think she is? But I know who I am, and I know myself. And when you do know yourself, it's a beautiful thing. You got to know who you are. You've got to know what you're about. You've got to know what makes you tick. You also got to know what really gets on your nerves and where you're self-sabotaging, right? And where you're being an arse. I'm trying to recognise every part of me so I could just bring awareness into every area of my life, and awareness into my son's life. He knows, if he pushes my buttons and he gets me to a point where I shout at him, he comes up to me, he gives me a kiss and he says, I'm sorry I made you shout, Mummy. Because he actually knows that I am not that person, and I do not want to be that person, but that person exists inside of me. Does that make sense? So, you gotta be, sometimes you need your ego, right? You gotta remind them, you gotta remind people who they're messing with, right? And that person can come out sometimes, and that's the duality of life. Like, I want you to know that there's no such thing as a perfect being or a perfect life. Or a perfect way of doing things. There's only your way. And when you do it your way, you will be happy rather than trying to do what someone else is doing it and doing it their way. We live in a world of social media where people are like imitating, copying, looking, oh, I should be like that. And the thing is, you've got to bring your own personality and your own vibe and your own uniqueness to whatever you're creating. It's got to be you. Like, there's no one else out there that is me. They might be similar to me. They might have an idea that's of me. They might have a concept that's of me. They might be on the same frequency as me. We might vibe together. But actually, they are a unique individual and they are not me. And so I want you to know that you are unique and wonderful and created in his image, and a powerful creator as well. So you can go forward in this life, visualizing that light, visualizing the light around you, balancing that light within you as well, and shining that light into the world, which I was I've been creating all day, so I've been writing for the program, and one of the days that it's going to be a 28-day gratitude thing. One of the days it's called Shining Your Light, which is so important. Like, you know, be the lighthouse. Think about a lighthouse as well. You know, lighthouses don't go around looking for lost ships, right? Lighthouses stand still, tall, and strong, and bright. And they shine their light. They're not going around trying to save people. And this is what I think the spiritual community could do with bringing that into the spiritual community as well, because I feel like there's a lot of ego when we're out of balance and we're trying to fix people. It's not our jobs as coaches and healers and leaders and speakers. Not even a word, speeches, Rebecca. Speakers, wherever we are, whatever platform we use, wherever we're sharing our word and sharing our knowledge, that we be the light. And we be the light by being who we are, not by trying to imitate, not trying to use spirituality as a badge to decorate our ego as well, which I think is really important that we, you know, when we're coming up with, when we feel that we have this knowledge and we feel that we have to tell people and correct people and be like, oh no, that's ego, that's your ego. That for me, I'm like, that's coming from a place of ego. If you feel like you really need to correct people, then you're being in this religious dogmatic place, which is actually of ego. The irony, right? And so how do we reel ourselves back in? If we're healers and we're coaches and we're leaders, how do we then get back to a space of, this isn't about me and other, this is not about the relationship I have with other people, this is about the relationship I have with self and my creator and my journey. And by being who I am, I have a much better service to the world than going around trying to fix everyone else and worrying about who they are. That makes sense. That's how I've just kind of been like unraveling 2017. Like, I didn't start off the year with this mentality, people. I really kind of went against so many different went in so many different directions this year, and then the universe has really shown to me about some of the things that I was doing, and I had to correct myself and I had to reel myself back in and kind of be like, yeah, I'm growing, it's okay, I've failed, I've done wrong, I've said things I shouldn't have said, I'm sorry. I forgive myself, obviously, firstly, because people might not forgive you, and that's really important, that no matter what you do, forgive yourself in this life. Because we are all human, we are all making mistakes constantly, because that's how we're growing and bettering ourselves. Like, you just literally cannot fail. There's just literally there's no such thing as a failure or failing, you know. And that's something, you know, again, as a mother, I'm teaching Tristan like all the time, like, don't worry about it. Like, try again, try a different approach, go in a different direction. That didn't work. Okay, there's so many other things that we can try here now, right? And even with me, you know, that approach didn't work, Rebecca. Okay, fine, let's try a different approach. Because as coaches and healers, or more as a coach than I am as a healer, because the healing side of things is really not too difficult at all, and I really do enjoy. But the coaching side of things is more about me listening. And it's more about me, you know, encouraging, like I said, the conversations that I get my clients to have with themselves more than the conversations that I have with my clients. You know, because that opens up possibility for them. It gets them to really look about where they are limiting themselves in their own life and where they have limited themselves, and where then there can be correction for themselves, not for me going, this is what you have to do, by the way. Obviously, you know, I share my story because it's powerful, and it gives people an idea of where I've come from, obviously, and shows them what's possible for them, which is pretty awesome. Because if you'd have told me 3 years ago and I'd be here and I'd be doing this, I would have laughed at you. What are you talking about? But the fact is, I've really grown as a person because I wanted to. And this is where the vision has to be so strong in your mind. It has to supersede everything else. You know, when I talk about manifesting your desires, one of the questions is, are you willing to do, when I say to my clients, okay, we're on the program now, like, you know, one of the questions is, are you willing to do what it takes? Whatever it takes, because you're going to be coming up against hurdles and blockages. And also when you're asking for the universe for X, Y, Z, and it's a big desire, you know, the universe has got to prepare you for that big desire. You know, you make sure that when you get that desire, that you're actually in the right place to enjoy that desire or appreciate that desire. You understand? And I think that's where people, you know, get demotivated very easily. You know, I don't even like really using the word lazy. I know that people can get demotivated though. And it's so much more of a better word to use than, oh, you're just lazy. Because like the solar plexus is what's going to push us forward in life to achieve. But until we're recognizing our own crap, or unless we're really tired of our own crap, like really tired, like I don't want to be this bloody person anymore. I don't want to have all these excuses to why I can't do it. Like there's other people around me who are succeeding and doing it. Like what makes me different from them? And that's something that always came up in my head, like before I even won the money, because I looked around. I used to go into people's houses and I'd be like massive, huge houses, and then people had lots of money, and I'd be like, how come they can have this and I couldn't? And I wasn't necessarily jealous or envious. And I don't think I would have ever manifested that money if I was that kind of person. I mean, I talk about going into Victoria Beckham's house and just thinking, wow, look at this place. Huge. An amazing woman, and very gifted and very talented and very creative and a wonderful mother and a wonderful being. You know, you can't hate on someone like that. You just can't. And if you do, then I don't know. You're going to have to really sit and have some conversations with yourself about why you want to hate on another human being anyway, right? Go and look at your heart. Go and look at your heart chakra and do some work there. You know, I was watching another video today by Nicole Arbour. She's an amazing woman as well. She's kind of like overcome a lot. She had chronic illness and disabled, and she started making YouTube videos, and she literally went viral. She's had like 300 million views in the past year or two or something. She's incredible. Well, she was living with chronic illness, and she just said, no, I'm not having it. I'm not going to admit I've got this illness. She started reading Louise Hay books and started putting affirmations, sticky notes everywhere, and started thinking positivity. And she kind of got better, you know, she with her own thoughts. You know, this is what I'm saying, people. Your thoughts are so powerful. What you say about yourself is what you will become. You know, I can't even begin to tell you how I've manifested things just through thoughts alone, seeing things, seeing the vision, and just stepping into that space as well. And there's just so much more to come, right? And even for you, like wherever you are right now in your life, whatever you're experiencing, whatever your life situation, your situation right now is not your final destination. Yeah? Let me say it again. And let me write it down. Why don't you write it down somewhere? Because this is powerful, you know. I have sticky notes everywhere. I'm always writing down affirmations, and I'm always creating stuff because I want to keep my thoughts on that high vibe, right? Your current situation is not your final destination. Okay? So you've got to feel that. You know, you've got to know whatever you've got going around you, or whatever you're looking around in your life right now, you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to be here. You're here. Accept it. Now is all you've got. Be grateful for this space, okay? But nothing else that has been before you matters. The only thing that matters is here, now, and moving forward in your life, what you can create. Remember I told you you're a victim or you're a creator. So who do you want to be? Yeah? It's like, you know, it's kind of like you to be a man or a mouse. But this is better, right? We don't want to be man or mouse. It's just we don't want to resemble that. Yeah, you are a powerful creator. Yeah, something someone said to me once when I was in a really dark place. They just said, Rebecca, you're a powerful soul with power. You're a powerful creator. Hold on to that. And from then I just went, right, yeah, no going back, no giving up, no feeling sorry for myself, dusting myself off every day, and literally just moving forward in a positive direction. I've got 5 minutes left, guys. It's been amazing spending some time with you today. And the third eye is just so important, right? It's just so important. Now you're realizing, as we're getting up into the higher chakras, and if you've been on this journey with me, we're on day 6. If you're just coming in on day 6 and you're thinking to yourself, this is awesome. I what have I missed? You've missed 5 days. Go back. And so the 12 days of podcasting and the 12 days of Christmas, we've still got 6 days left. Yay. Does that make you happy? I'm just thinking, what the hell am I going to talk about for the next 6 days? But no doubt this woman likes to talk, and I will find other things to talk about. So there's some things that I will be talking about, and I know I'm going to be talking about, like I've mentioned before. I will be doing a podcast about gratitude, and talking a little bit about how gratitude changes so many things in our life. I will be doing a podcast on boundaries and how it's important to establish those in relationships, how we can bring communication into that as well, and be really clear about who we are and what's acceptable for us and what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not willing to tolerate, and really get that clarity and bring that into our relationships. I'll be talking about how to make your relationships work, how communication can help, and how maybe you're struggling in your relationships with communication, or maybe you're struggling in your relationships on a sexual level, or because you're just not getting what you need and your desires aren't getting met. And so how do you work around that? But also, like, maybe practical things as well, around business, how I started my business. I think it'd be interesting for you guys to hear about how it all started for me in creating my life. And I know I've got a few of you who are listening who maybe have your own businesses or your own brands, or maybe you're healers and you're coaches, and you're thinking, how do I get started? It's one of the questions people always say to me, like, got so many ideas, I want to do so much. How do I do this? How do I start? And so I'm going to be creating another program. God, I know why I'm doing this to myself, all these programs. But, these are great tools that I'm putting together. It's my knowledge. It's everything that I've been learning for the past 3 years and in business. And so I can deliver it to you in a way that is really informative, but really not overcomplicated, and not getting you into a state of overwhelm, like bite-sized chunks of information that are easy to apply in your everyday life and in your business and your everyday life, and how to actually really grow your business from an organic place as well, and how you can bring yourself into your business. Because I said yesterday, I was talking to a client, I was like, look, you are your brand. There is no separation. So when I think about Queen of my life, that is me. That's who I am. I'm a queen. And I represent queens, and there's loads of us out there, and we are awesome, and we are, bringing equality back into the world. I really want to see more women be successful in business. That's kind of one of the things that I really want to try to focus on as well going forward in my vision. So thank you, queens. Thank you all. Really appreciate you all. Literally, this year's been amazing, and thank you for supporting me on this journey, as I support you, of course. And tomorrow we are moving up into the higher chakra, the highest chakra, the seat of enlightenment. We are talking the crown chakra. So yeah, we'll be talking about a little bit more about who you are in that space. Thanks for being here. Really do appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely day, lovely evening, wherever you may be, and sending you all the love and light. Ciao.